I come from the net, begins the familiar line. But it doesn't sound like the right voice. In a moment, you realize it's Megabyte doing the intro, infecting systems, people, and cities to this place. Megaframe. My domain. Uh-oh. A new, darker era has come to ReBoot. Welcome to Season 3. And look how gorgeous everything is now.
Fire when ready.
Ready!
To Mend and Defend was written by Marv Wolfman, with story by Gavin Blair, Phil Mitchell, Ian Pearson, and Michael Scory. The main cast includes Kathleen Barr as Dot, Christopher Gray as Enzo, Tony J as Megabyte, Shirley Milner as Hexadecimal, Andrea Libman as Andrea, Louise Valance as Mouse, Michael Donovan as Fawn and Cecil, Scott McNeil as Hack and Specky, and Gary Chalk as Slash. The episode picks up immediately where World Wars concluded. Bob is gone, the CPU forces have all but been obliterated, and Dot, Enzo, Fawn, Mouse, Andrea, and all the others are held up in the principal office. For now, the shields are holding, but Megabyte's laser cannon, with Hex in the gunner's seat, stands poised to bring it down, at which point they will be at his mercy. Megabyte summons a vid window inside the room they're in, and demands their unconditional surrender, and of course the mainframers tell him to shove it. At the same time, Specky, a binome currently managing the communications and various other controls, informs Dot that 9 CPU cars have survived, and are requesting permission to enter the principal office. That's it. 9 cars. That's what survived. Dot orders them to return in single file, and the ABCs chasing them break up into 2 columns to flank them. And Dot springs her trap.
Fire!
I am sorry, Dot. The shields are no longer functioning.
Unfortunately, the couple of ABCs that crashed into the side of the building have knocked the shields offline and have left those in the principal office vulnerable. Enzo, of course, wants to leap into action. With the Guardian Protocol Bob downloaded into Enzo's PID, he is compelled to protect those around him. But Dot, understandably, shoots him down, and a brief talk about Bob emerges before Dot chokes and holds back tears. Honestly, Bob made things complicated by giving Enzo the Guardian function, and it'll get him into trouble, as we'll see. But I assume he was expecting to be here to train him. Anyways, we shift over to our 2 viruses, as Megabyte tells Hexadecimal to power down, as the day is theirs. Hexadecimal, showing her crazy side and effectively ending their alliance, decides what she really wants to do is blow up the principal office, even though doing so will destroy the entire system. She fires the weapon again, but Mouse manages to raise a temporary force field to block it. Mouse and Dot decide to take the fight to them, without Enzo, and they get some brand new Season 3 wardrobe upgrades.
Now! You got a better idea? No. I'm coming with you. You, stay on the shields.
Patience, child. Your time will come.
Have I mentioned, by the way, that the show looks so good right now? Dynamic lighting, smoother animations, higher quality textures. To see this amazing show get the tech upgrade it deserves is extremely gratifying. Okay, sorry, I'll try to control myself. With Mouse and Dot now outfitted for battle, they march off, leaving a dejected Enzo with the reality that just because he wears a uniform doesn't automatically make him a replacement for Bob. Meanwhile, back with our two viruses, Hex goes to charge the weapon again, and Megabyte leaps at her. She simply blasts him with her powers and he goes falling off the platform towards the ground. Hack and Slash grab him before he hits bottom, and they rocket away to the tour. Just as what should appear but a GameCube. And unfortunately for Hex, it heads right for her.
Have it your way.
Say hello to my little friend.
Whoa, now that's what I call a bug zapper.
I can't believe it! We've been saved by a GameCube!
Ouch. But even as Dot and Mouse stare in disbelief at their good fortune, they see Enzo and Andrea zip past them. Dot and Mouse chase after them, as Dot explains that Enzo has to enter the game. It's part of the Guardian call. Mouse also mentions that Andrea, being a game sprite, can't enter because she'll leave with the game. She manages to grab the young lady before the cube drops, and Dot enters the game with Enzo. As we see shifted within the cube, we get our first glimpse of a game in Season 3. And it's the perfect sort of mood to show off the new hardware. Dark skies, fog effects, and terrific mood lighting. It's apparent that we are in a zombie game, a thing that they would never have done in the younger seasons. Enzo gets the game stats and finds out the game is called Malicious Corpses. They find Frisket, who also enter the game, and they meet the user.
He's here! Let's do it! You too, boy! ReBoot!
Those of you who know your cult films will recognize that the user is clearly modelled after Ash Williams from the Evil Dead franchise, what with his shotgun and chainsaw hand. The character's ReBoot. In addition to the zombie dog and Enzo as an XP Michael Jackson's Thriller, Dot reboots into Morticia from the Addams family. They also meet a few binomes as well. Outside of the game, we see the very charred body of Hexadecimal, as her and Doctor and a few other lackeys approach her and cart her way back to the tour. Back in the game, the user gets busy shooting things. He enters the graveyard where they are and takes shots at them. Enzo orders the binomes to go on ahead and hide the ammo, so the user will be able to gain more.
Oh, you're kidding, right? We're not listening to you. You're a kid.
Yes, you're hardly a guardian.
Well, you're certainly not Bob. Bob was big. Bob was strong. Bob was, well, blue.
In the end, the binomes do it, but only because the user starts to shoot at them, and Dot yells at them to get a move on. Enzo, understandably, feels dejected, but Dot attempts to raise his spirits by asking, "What now, Guardian?" He smiles in response. We shift back to Megabyte's lair, and we see us watching a news interview of a reporter mentioning that Enzo is not Guardian material. Harsh, he's been a Guardian for like 2 nanoseconds. Megabyte decides to let Mainframe itself defeat Enzo with propaganda. And he summons Cyrus, who we haven't seen since Identity Crisis, to lead that front. That's a hook for later, but that's really cool. Back in the game for my favourite joke of the episode.
He's just standing there shooting at things! I know! And in the next level, sprites are zombies! They've got flesh on their bones! I don't even want to think about that. I mean, what kind of sick creature gets enjoyment out of playing this sort of game?
They're staring right into my soul. How did they know? Anyways, the binomes find some ammo, but they also stumble into a few more game sprites. And just as Enzo said, they have flesh on them. Again, this is a great chance to see the amazing visual upgrades the show has taken, as you can see the gruesome detail in these zombie sprites. Enzo and Dot run past, and we see the user start to blow the game sprites away. In the meantime, back in the tour, Megabyte is checking in on Hexadecimal, who has been strapped into some sort of apparatus. It seems they plan to repair her with a few modifications. Another seed we shall see blossom eventually.
Is within acceptable parameters. The implants have taken and the limiters are functioning. Excellent. Now remember, I want her to have the best treatment. Understand? The best.
Back in the game, the user nears his final objective. To win, the user needs to acquire the Book of the Dead and a few missing pages. He has all the pages in hand, so Enzo and Dot begin to make their way to the cabin where the book is stored. Enzo tells the Binom allies to run away and hide, and they comply. But before they can get to the cabin, Frisket charges at the user, intent on taking him down. Sadly, it doesn't go so well, and the user simply shoots Frisket, who slumps over. Oh dear, they just shot Enzo's dog. How dark can this get? Dot has to physically drag Enzo into the cabin, and it is implied that he won't die if they can end the game. They barricade the door and hide the book, but the user enters with his chainsaw.
Alright, come on, let's go.
What are you doing?
Using up his ammo. Woo!
By letting him shoot at you?
Yeah!
Over here, big boy.
It's only funny till someone loses an eye.
Nice. Smooth moves, Enzo. Dot and Enzo start to rough up the user the best they can, using whatever improvised weapons they can find. But it's ultimately Frisket, still alive, who enters the house and causes him to trip. The two sprites bound him up and toss him to the cellar, killing him and ending the game. As the GameCube disappears, an ambulance arrives and carts Frisket to safety. Enzo and Dot meanwhile return to the principal office in triumph. Fawn informs the duo that him and Mouse restored the shields, and that Frisket is on the mend. Dot congratulates Enzo on winning the game, but tells him he needs to train if he ever wants to be as good as Bob. She trails off in sorrow.
I think you earned your chance, but I want you to train if you ever want to be as good as Bob was.
Sis, if he's out there, I'll find him. I promise. I'll bring Bob home.
Mouse and Andrea interrupt the conversation by mentioning that they found a survivor of the web creature attack. It's Cecil. Dot's diner was destroyed, you see. Dot is very happy to see him, and the episode ends. Melancholy, but a win for the good guys. For now. The moment I saw that the characters now had shadows, I knew I was in love. And that's not even mentioning the grim atmosphere, perfect pacing, amazing game design, and wonderful character moments. We're seeing Enzo take his first strides as Bob's protege, and Megabyte's full oppressive might at work. I'm gripped for what is to come. And honestly, I think you will be too. This episode, kicking the season off wonderfully, receives 3 fedoras from me.